Welcome to Seth's Daily Podcast here on Nighthawk Radio. To listen to Nighthawk Radio, go to nighthawk-radio.com. Check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Rumble, YouTube Music, Facebook, everywhere you find good podcasts. We're blessed enough to have an interview with author Gideon Drake. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Very good today. Thank you.
Appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to be on, man. I know it's especially busy right now with the book about being released.
It's been uh it's been pretty busy here lately for sure.
Good busy, though.
Good busy, good busy.
Absolutely, man. So, what's the name of your new book, sir?
The name of the new book coming out November 15th is The Bloodroot House. Uh, Kind of a short summary of the book. The girl inherits a house from her grandmother. She moves into the house and she finds some mysterious messages carved into the walls uh, under the wallpaper, and she starts doing some research on the history of her family, and she learns a dark history and past about her grandmother and her family. And in her dreams, her grandmother comes to her in the dreams and tells her to leave before the third moon. But before she can leave, the house has other plans, and the power is cut off, and her car won't start, and she's forced to stay in the house.
That's
So it's
that's
kind of a
awesome,
haunted
man.
house story. And that one is actually book one in what's going to be a five-book series that is coming later next year.
Man, so you said people can pre-order your book, right?
Yeah, pre-order is available right now on Amazon for the ebook, and that is open until November 15th. So if anybody pre-orders the ebook, uh, first thing on the morning of November 15th, that ebook will show up in their Kindle.
Hey man, Kindle's where it's at right now.
And we've got physical copies ordered for our TikTok shop, and they should be in about the same time that it releases. Also, the same date of the release, we have a book signing in Rolla, Missouri at Reader's Depot. So, so we're hoping that we have to get the books in a little bit early so that we can have those books to take to the bookstore with us.
And everybody gets a signed copy, right, brother?
What's that?
I said everybody gets a signed copy, right?
Oh, yeah. Any books purchased in my TikTok shop, everything is personally signed by me, and then we individually wrap each book, and each book gets a free bookmark. I was trying to see if I had one of the bookmarks with me. I know I got one here. And then these are the bookmarks. They've got my name and a QR code that takes you to my links, including my new website. And on the back of the bookmark is the covers of all three books that are currently released. And when the new book comes out, I'll have a new bookmark specifically for the new book that's tailored to it specifically.
And you got your logo for your new book on your phone right now, right? To show the people.
Yeah, I've got the cover for the new book. So that's the, can you see that okay?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I can definitely see the house real good. Ah, that's good.
that's the new cover for it.
Oh man, that looks creepy, bro. I like it.
Yeah, my daughter, she is my cover designer. So that was her handiwork.
Like creepy in a good way.
Yep. Yeah, I think so. Well, in the
Which what you
story,
need in this type of book, yeah.
yeah, in the story, it is a really, really old house. This house has been passed down from generation to generation since the 1800s and always stayed in the family. It has never been put up to be sold or anything. So there's a reason in the story why the house has never been sold, because the family is tied to that house, which you'll find later on in the series.
Has that house always haunted the family members?
Yeah,
Just
there is
not that
something.
particular one, like everyone.
Yeah, yeah, there is something else living in the house.
That's pretty much like attached to the family.
Yeah, correct.
I got you. I'm trying to get each detail, but
Yep.
I won't get too much because I want people to read the book for sure. I definitely plan on getting it as well.
Yeah, this whole thing came up. Uh, I was looking for something new to write about, and I don't remember what happened, but I got remembering back when I was younger, and me and a bunch of buddies of mine, we'd be riding around out in the country. We lived in this little bitty town, and we'd ride around out in the country on the weekends and stuff. And sometimes we'd come across these old abandoned houses that are kind of sitting out off the road. And a lot of times I'd go to those houses and kind of look in, see what kind of shape the houses were still in. And you'd see some of the old wallpaper that was fading and starting to peel away from the walls and stuff. And I used to always think, wonder what all's happened inside that house and what led up to that house being abandoned and things like that. And kind of what if the walls could talk? What kind of stories would they tell? And thinking back about that and in my current state and the kind of things that I write about now, I was thinking, well, what if the stories the walls could tell you wasn't stories that you wanted to hear? What if there were some things that went on in that house that people just didn't need to know about? So that's kind of where this story kind of came from.
That's very creative, man.
Was what if you inherited a house and the house that you inherited wanted more from you than uh than just the inheritance?
There's houses like that in real life too, though.
Oh, I know there is. I've lived in a few of them.
So this is based off maybe a true story.
We've lived in some pretty strange houses. We lived in one house where there was one time my wife was home and she had the baby and she heard a baby crying down the hallway. And she was starting to go down the hallway to check on the baby and then realized that she was holding the baby. And then where the cries were coming from, there was nothing there. And then,
That's creepy.
yeah, then we moved to Pennsylvania and we lived in this old house there. And the kids used to always talk about that there was something upstairs in the bedroom. And my wife would say that she would be downstairs, the kids would be in school, and I'd be going to work, and she'd be there alone. And she'd hear footsteps upstairs on the second floor, and they would walk up to the edge of the stairs. And she said it always, and then they would stop at the edge of the stairs. So there's been all kinds of freaky stuff happen there. So yeah, we've lived in our share of houses that had some strange events that took place in it for sure.
So your book was kind of inspired by events that's happened to you.
Yeah, there's some things in there.
Yep. And now, is this book kind of connected with your other three?
No, it is not. So uh, it is a completely different cast of characters. It's a different setting that takes place in the backwoods of the Ozark Mountains, which is close by to where I live now. And so that's kind of the setting, completely different from the other stories. But like I said, this one will have a connection to some of the books coming up. Because right now I'm planning on doing probably about a 4 or 5 book series to carry the story out even further and go back. It'll about book 3. it'll start going back in history to back to the early 1900s and then into the 1800s where the family in this house connections first started.
And they had paranormal activity back in the 1800s as well in your book.
Yep.
Well, in your next book.
Yep.
Man, how do you find the creativity to write all these books, man? That's awesome.
I don't know. A lot of it I pull from personal experiences, maybe, or things that I've seen, or uh, some of the some of the topics and things in some of my books come from either people I know or things that have happened to me. But then I kind of twist it into a dark kind of a thriller story, psychological. So, like the Whispers in the House, the it's currently my best-selling book. It's this book, this one right here. It's currently the best-selling book that I have, and it actually stems around from grief. So, like when you lose a loved one, and part of this came from some personal experience that I've seen with other people where they lose someone, and then sometimes you don't always remember things exactly the way that they were. You imagine things how that you want to remember things sometimes, and sometimes it's not actually the correct memory, but it's what you want to remember. And so sometimes grief can distort kind of how you see things around you. And so there's some of that in Whispers in the House. And it's about a mom and her kids, and a lot of strange things starts happening in the house, and it's slowly driving the mom insane with everything that's going on, and she's struggling to determine what's real and what's not.
You ever hit a writer's block sometimes?
Sometimes I do, and usually when I do that, my wife, she she works a lot with me on a lot of the books, so she actually does a lot of the editing and stuff for me too. So usually if I kind of get in a spot where I'm not sure which direction to go next, I'll talk her through where I'm at in the story and what's going on. And usually she'll come up with a good plot twist for me to throw in there, which helps me take the story and move on in a different direction.
So she
So
helps co-write pretty much.
yes, so if I get stuck and tell her what's going on, she'll be like, "Well, well, what if this happened in the story?" And then sometimes I'll plug that in, and then the story will move on.
What inspired your author name, man?
Gideon Drake. I was born in a little town. Well, I was born here in the Boot Hill, and I grew up for my first 12 years in this little bitty town farm community here in Missouri called Gideon. And Gideon was also the name of my favorite character on Criminal Minds, too. And the Drake, that was actually just a random name that we came up with. Me and the wife was going through a bunch of names, and we came up on Drake, and she said, "Oh, that sounds pretty good with that." So that's where we went with it. So that's where the name came from.
That's awesome, man. I like that name, man. And I know what show you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah,
Have you ever thought about writing a detective book?
kind of did. Awake in the Shadows was the first book that I wrote, and
Oh, it is a detective book. My bad.
it is actually a crime thriller. Uh, it's about a teacher who sleepwalks, and she wakes up in the woods next to a dead body, and she has no memory of how she got there. And then she ends up becoming a prime suspect in a series of murders in her small town. And she's trying to prove her innocence while everybody else thinks she's guilty. And there's a shocking twist at the end of the story when you find out who is responsible for it. And so that was the first book that I wrote, and uh, that was actually a story idea that me and my daughter came up with one day while we was sitting in a waiting room waiting for her to get her ears pierced. And I was like, yeah, I want to write something creative, but what would be a good story? And we kind of tossed around a bunch of things, and that idea came up. And so that's kind of where that story idea came from. And then I've had quite a few readers read it and told me that they wanted me to do a sequel to it to carry on the story because they wanted more of the story. And so that's what I'm currently writing right now is the sequel to that one of kind of what happens to her afterwards. And it is probably even more action packed than the first one.
So is that your favorite book that you've done?
No, it's not my favorite book that I've done. I mean, I like them all. Probably the favorite one that I've done so far is the new one that's coming out. I really had a lot of fun with that one, the Bloodroot House.
Now, what's that book about?
It's the one about the girl who inherits the house that's haunted.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun going through it and coming up with the evilness that is attached to the house and kind of attaching it to the family. And then the daughter being in the middle of it, trying to figure out if the house is really haunted or if she's just dreaming it.
Man, how do you come up with these plots?
I don't know. They just kind of come to me. I watch a lot of the psychological thrillers and horror stuff. So a lot of my ideas come from watching a movie and thinking, well, what if this happened this way instead? Or what if something else happened here? So when I'm watching movies, that's kind of what I'm thinking about. And so the stories that I write, I kind of look at them like a mini movie where if I was watching this on TV as a movie, kind of how would I like the story to go? And that's kind of the direction that I go with it. And I just really treat it like if I was watching a psychological thriller movie.
That's very cool, man. That's very cool how you come up with these plot twists and everything. That true crime book, I'm very interested in. I definitely gotta get it on the TikTok shop. What is your TikTok for people that don't know, man?
It's Gideon Drake author. So if you look up Gideon Drake author on TikTok, you will find me. Uh, yeah, the second I'll show everybody what my profile screen looks like on there. So this is what you'll find on my profile. I don't know. Can you see that okay?
Uh-uh.
It's the white screen, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
it's at Gideon.Drake5. But you can just do a search in there for Gideon Drake author. And you can also go to my website, GideonDrake.com, and you'll see my socials on there. And you can get to my TikTok shop from there as well.
Yep.
It also has all of my books on it, and one of the buy options on it takes you to my TikTok shop for signed copies.
Yo, man, I just want to ask you one question about your Halloween live so people can check it out next year, bro. Your Halloween live was funny, man. Very entertaining, too.
Did you have fun watching it?
Yes, sir.
A lot of people did. There's a lot of people came up and said that my house was their favorite house of all the houses that they went trick or treating at because I was out there dressed up as the killer clown with the machete, and I was stalking people out on the road as they was coming up to go trick or treating. I had a blast.
Did anybody scream?
Well, there was a few, and there was several people that were afraid of clowns, and the people that they were with let me know that they was scared of clowns, and there was a few of them that I ended up chasing down the road, and cars would be driving by real slow, and I'd walk out in the road to the cars to try to scare them in the cars. One guy was in the car, and he pulled up and stopped, rolled down his window, and had his girlfriend with him, and told me, he said, "She's terrified of clowns. Get her." And so I was getting all up in her face in the car, having a blast.
That's what Halloween's all about, is having fun, man.
I'm glad you enjoyed the live. That was the first time we actually did a live stream. We thought it would be funny catching me out there trying to scare everybody.
I mean, that's what makes Halloween fun, man. It and ghost hunting, you know.
Oh yeah. So we did have a ghost activity during that live.
Really?
I don't know if he was on there then or not, but it kind of freaked a lot of people out though. So, where we had the camera up, and a lot of times I would be up there on the porch in front of the camera talking. Well, my wife was sitting on the couch up on the porch with the candy, waiting on the trick or treaters. She had her phone out, and she had my TikTok live pulled up, and she was watching it on her phone. And so I was standing in front of the camera talking, and she goes, "Hey, how come you're not in my picture?" And so I was like, "What are you doing?" She said, "You're not on here." I said, "Yeah, I'm right here in front of the camera." And she's like, "No, you're not on mine." And on hers, she saw everything that the camera was looking at to me, but without me there. So it was just the yard and the road, and I was not anywhere in the image. And I was like, "Well, you must be lagging." And she was like, "Well, let me try it." So she typed in a comment. And as soon as she typed in the comment came up instantly. So it's not lagging because her comments was there. And she was like, "No, I see all the comments scrolling up. I see all the hearts for the likes going up." So she even brought her camera. I asked everybody on live, I was like, "Can y'all see me?" And they was like, "Yeah, we see you fine." So she was the only one who couldn't see me. She even got her camera and came up and put up to mine. It was like, "Look, he is not here." And it was so funny. And then after about 5 or 10 minutes, then finally, all of a sudden, I showed up on the screen. It was funny. So that was our little haunted ghost moments. And she was like, "I swear, you guys, this house is not haunted." And they was all like, "Yeah, I think you're wrong."
Hopefully it isn't, man.
So that was pretty funny though.
Yeah, I enjoy your TikTok live though. Well, I enjoy all your TikTok lives. The Halloween one was hilarious though.
And I'm glad you was there to hang out with us a little bit.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Again next year.
Yep, definitely again next year. I don't know what I'll be next year. Last year I was the sinister scarecrow. Then this year was Killer the Clown. I don't know what next year's gonna be.
You are right though. A lot of people are scared of clowns, man.
Oh, they're I couldn't believe there's one lady, her son's sicked me on her, and she was terrified. I thought she was gonna have a heart attack. She was just like she didn't know what to do. She was just like losing it. I was like, that's pretty crazy.
I I can't blame them though. I'm not a big fan of clowns either, man.
I like them. they go good with my Realm of Illusions book.
Oh, those clowns in that book?
Don't refer to them as clowns, but in my nightmare they were. They were a bunch of masked
Inspired by clowns. I got you.
they were a bunch of masked figures in my dreams that had clown masks on, and their faces kept morphing into different things and shapes and stuff. But I know that people are kind of scared of clowns, so I didn't refer to them as clowns in the book. I just referred to them as masked figures. But in reality, in the actual nightmare, it was the creepy clowns.
Hey man, you gotta write a clown book next. The creepy clown. I'm sure there are books about clowns out there though.
Riz Stephen King did it.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's your next book, a clown book.
I don't know. We'll see where it all goes. I think next year is booked pretty solid as far as books go. I know I'm currently writing that sequel that's going to be out shortly after the first of the year, and then I've got four more books that I know I have planned coming up, and I think those are probably going to get me through to the end of the year.
It's a lot of writing, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of writing. Each one of those books is probably going to be between 80 to 100,000 words, which means they're going to be somewhere between 300 and 400 pages. So it's going to be a lot.
Hey man, you love to do it though, so
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I mean, since the last time I've been on here, uh, it's gotten a lot bigger than it was whenever I was on here with you last time. We're pushing 5,000 followers now on TikTok. So that's been going. The book sales have been
out the
really,
roof.
really great. Yeah, they've been really, really good. I mean, we was talking about it the other night. It was like, yeah, I remember whenever we was happy if we sold like one or two books on a live, and now now if we don't sell like between 7 and 10 books, a night on live, that's kind of a slow night. We had one day that we sold 30, and
Wow.
so I mean, a lot of people have read the books, and then they tell people about it, and those people come back, buy a bunch of books, or somebody will buy one and read it, and then come back and buy all the others. And so yeah, it's gotten to where it's almost a full-time job now, and it every month it just seems to grow a little bigger, and my name gets out there a little bit more. Somebody came in this morning on a live and bought a couple of books and told me that they had bought one of my books already and they read it. They was telling their coworkers about it, and they said they had like three or four of their coworkers that was going to go to my shop this weekend and buy all of my books, buy my bundle deal. So, so yeah, it's definitely getting out there. So I'm enjoying it and glad that it's going as good as what it is.
Definitely, man. I appreciate you being on, brother, taking the time out of your busy schedule.
Yep, sure thing. Yeah, I enjoy coming on here chatting with you. Enjoy chatting with you in the lives in the morning.
Absolutely, man. I'll send me
You
your
always,
links and I'll put it in the description.
all right, yeah, you always crack me up when you come in the morning. The legend.
The legend, yeah, man. My bad, I forgot about that. I should have introduced you as the legend.
The legend. Yeah, it always cracks me up. I got a lot of other ones. I go into their live and they go, "Oh, look, it's the famous Gideon Drake." And it's other authors that are saying it too. So they always make me feel really good.
Yeah, but I appreciate you being on. I want to thank everybody for listening. Check out Nighthawk Radio on nighthawk-radio.com. Check us out on YouTube, Spotify, YouTube Music, Facebook, Rumble. We're even on Rumble now. And everybody give the legend Gideon Drake a follow on TikTok. What's your ad on TikTok?
At Gideon dot Drake 5, I believe. Yeah. At Gideon dot Drake 5. Or you can go to my website, GideonDrake.com, and you can find my link to my TikTok on there as well.
He's live every day, pretty much.
Twice a day, early in the morning and then again in the evening. And
Yes,
we'll
sir.
be going live here just shortly after I get off here.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you being on, man. I want to thank the legend, author Gideon Drake for being on. Everybody have a good night and God bless.